San Diego 6 News in the morning. Your station for balanced news.
Stalking is a disturbing trend around the country. 1 in 12 women will be stalked for an average of 2 years. There is much that can be done about it, though. Our guests will discuss Stalking Awareness Month here in January.
And 1 in 12, pretty surprising numbers there. Coming up, protect yourself from a stalker.
Well, 1 in 12 women and 1 in 45 men will be stalked in their lifetime for an average duration of 2 years. In 2009 alone, 1.4 victims will be stalked. Dr. Alexandra Dressoon, a licensed psychologist and coach, is here with us this morning to talk about this serious problem. Alexandra, thank you so much for being here. As we mentioned, a serious problem in January, known as Stalker Awareness Month. Let's get right to it. One thing I want to break is the stereotype on stalking. You say 1 in 45 men, and most of these people, women and men, but the men struck me, most of the people too are average Americans. We're not always talking about celebrities. Tell me a little bit about, the trends that you're seeing in stalking right now.
Correct. Most people inaccurately believe that stalking occurs to individuals that are celebrity or rich or famous, and we find that the majority of stalking occurs among ordinary Americans. Especially, we find that the majority of stalking occurs between ex-spouses, ex-mates, lovers, cohabitating partners.
Now, you mentioned, we were talking a little bit earlier, that you're seeing stalking now in technology. Obviously, that's where the whole world is going. We're all technology bound now. What kind of trends are we seeing in technology?
There are many trends. Researchers are still trying to identify the use of technology in stalking, and we're finding that they're using very sophisticated tools such as GPS systems to track victims, even computer monitoring software, so that stalkers can identify what sites victims are using to either access help or escape. There are tremendous amount of technologies that are being used.
Sure, emailing, text messaging, all those type of tools as well. Would you say that stalking is similar to maybe rape, in the sense that victims sometimes are scared to come forward about it? I mean, you work with victims. What do you see when the victims are alarmed by stalking?
Absolutely. Victims are often threatened that if they report the behavior to the police, that they will suffer negative consequences, either themselves, or they will be harmed, or people that they love and care about.
Okay. Stalking methods. How do you know if you're being stalked? I mean, some might think it's obvious, but sometimes it might not be so obvious. What are some of those stalking methods?
There are various stalking methods.
We have them up actually on our screen too. Assaults and threats, but yeah, kind of talk about all those.
Assaults can be one, vandalism, animal abuse, sending repetitive and unwanted calls, cards, gifts, packages. And stalking is a course of conduct that's directed at a specific person that would cause a reasonable person fear. If you are finding that the behavior is scaring you, then that would be considered stalking.
And we even have animal abuse on that list as well. What do you mean by animal abuse?
Animal abuse, if the stalker is trying to reunify with the victim and wants them back and threatens them, I will hurt your animals, and they will. They will sometimes either kidnap the animals or abuse them to coerce and intimidate.
Okay. And then, of course, victim strategies. If you feel that you are being, stalked, what are some ways to protect yourself? What should you do?
There are various ways to protect yourself. One is to avoid all contact with the stalker. Secondly, you should inform either friends, coworkers, family members of the situation regarding the stalking. You could also report it to the police and follow their advice. You need to log and journal all stalking incidents to be able to collect the evidence, and also to keep all telephone, taped messages, packages, cards, phone calls,
keep track of everything,
faxes, yes.
Okay. All right. Well, very serious problem. Thank you so much for talking to us this morning. Hopefully it can help some of our viewers out there who may have experienced or may be experiencing this problem. Thanks, Alexandra. For more information, of course, let's go to our website, san diego6.com.